I used to climb a little bit in my early 20s and I loved it, but something happened in 2016 that stopped me climbing for the last 10 years. I'm now in my early 30s and I've got a question. Am I too old to try this sport again, or can I still make some serious gains? So for 30 days, I want to climb as much as possible, getting help from experts to try and answer that question. And I've just got to hope that this doesn't happen all over again. Oh yeah.
The background.
Oh. Yes. Oh. You're right. So the plan is simply to climb as many times as possible in 30 days. But I need a goal to aim for, which means I need a starting point. So before committing to this challenge, I went for a few really small climbs over a few months. I didn't exactly make any improvements over this time, but I got some easy climbs in. I got my first pair of climbing shoes.
New shoe day!
And I realized I wasn't starting from complete scratch, which was nice. But really, I just needed to check I was all good to go after what happened in 2016. Let me explain. So after getting into climbing for just a few months, I went for just a standard climbing session. My neck was feeling a tiny bit stiff, but after a lazy 5-minute warm-up, I figured I was good to go. But I instantly tried a move that was outside my skill set, reached up for a hold, and my neck and shoulder completely went. I could barely move without excruciating pain for 2 days. Luckily, it wasn't considered anything serious, but for the past 10 years, it's caused me a huge amount of chronic pain and stopped me from progressing really at all in my fitness. And it made me scared to step foot on a climbing wall again. But now in 2025, those few climbs I got in have made me think maybe my neck's got to the point where I can try it again. And it gave me clips that I could show this guy.
How's it going?
Yeah, good mate, how's it going?
This is Toby.
I'm Toby. I'm from Team Storer. Been doing parkour about 20 years now. Up until about 7 years ago, that was all I did, and then I found climbing. It's sort of come to par with my interest in parkour, really.
And he's going to be my guru in this mission. So I sent Toby some of those initial climbing clips so he could give me an official goal for the 30 days. There's a few different types of climbing disciplines, but I'm just going to be focusing on bouldering for the 30 days, which means smaller walls, technical climbs, and no ropes or harnesses. And something you need to know is that each climb is given a difficulty using what's called the V grade system, which just starts from the easiest at V0 and goes all the way up to V17.
What you're maxing out at in these clips, V3. I think that's only capped out because of the way you're doing the boulders. You could get to V5, I think, easy. V6 would be like, you'd have to potentially find something that really fit your style, and you'd have to do it like quite perfectly.
Okay, V5's the goal then. V6 is the you owe me a pint if I get the V6.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Toby's also going to be giving me some tips and advice, but right now, it's time to get started. Okay, so day one. I am very excited. I am also pretty nervous. I'm worried that because I'm so excited, I'm gonna maybe push it too hard. And then I'm worried that I'm just gonna be right back where I was 10 years ago. So I'm just gonna remind myself of a couple of things. Warm up properly, don't push too hard. Just get a few climbs in and get out of there. All right, let's get started. Probably gonna need this. Hey, how's it going? And after doing my solid warm-up, including some very basic climbs, it was time for the first official climb of this challenge. Now look, I'm gonna be honest with you, some of these climbs take me a little while to get through, so I'm gonna play this one at like 3 times speed. And my aim for week 1 is just to get climbs in, so I don't care too much about making gains, but I did eventually get to the top, and that felt good. Day 1 done. That felt really good. Climbed for about an hour and a half, spoke to some people, got a bit of help from one of the instructors, and he taught me my first concept of bridging. I think it's like creating a bridge between 2 points so that you can then move a different limb without like swinging out to the side. And that was a game changer that took me from not being able to do this route to nailing it. Get in. Proper chuffed with that. Good day one. I'm just really keen to see where I'm going to be at on day 30 after this. But if I'm going to make any real improvements, I need some guidance from my guru. So I asked Toby to rip my climb into shreds using those clips I sent him.
So kicking it off, big time on a V2 to V3. My first gauge of that is that you are easily strong enough to do the high grades because you could be using the holds better, I think. You swing up to that sort of central section of the boulder and if you're holding them out the front like this, it's pure pinch power, if you know what I mean? Whereas if you set your body in a way that transfers from the side pull to another side pull, then you're kind of using a hold in a way that would be a lot easier for your body. Right, we're on to V1, V2. So a couple times in that, your foot goes onto the hold, you reach for the next, and blindly you try and find the better spot for the foot. You can save so much time and efficiency by really thinking about that placement as it happens and thinking of it as much as you do the hands. You get on and then you move these hands loads before you go to the move.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But that's just like a classic moment of like, you're doing 5 micro moves there. You're making the route way longer than it needs to be, do you know what I mean? So it's like, knowing when I grab that, I'm good. So those first couple moves, you get that hold on the volume and your arms are out in front of you. That's basically the hardest position to be in on the wall. Like, so then you do the last moves really easily, even from that hard position. It's just another example of like, you're way stronger than the route.
Man, this is feeding my ego. I haven't been called so strong in years, mate. So I thought strength was going to be a limiting factor, but Toby made it clear as day that focusing on technique was going to make the biggest difference.
But dude, like, I'm fascinated to see if you crack on with it all, to see how it goes, because you're at that really satisfying phase where like you only got to change a few little things to plow through 2-3 grades, I reckon.
After some tips and advice, Toby reckoned that the key thing for me to focus on was going to be intention, and he gave me 2 key ways to do that, which I'll get back to, but it's time for day 2. All right, day 2. Today's a little bit different than the first climb because I'm going to be climbing with a mate, my mate Alfie. It should be interesting. See if it feels different when you're kind of like pushing someone else and being pushed by someone else, but hopefully not too much, because the aim of the game for me right now is still just to make it to the end of the 30 days in one piece. Hello, buddy. You ready for your pre-match interview?
Do I look at you?
I don't even know. So, Alfie, how do you reckon we're going to get on today? What's the chance you reckon we're going to be climbing V5s in the next half an hour?
I'm really optimistic that we will.
Please say it to the camera.
I'm really optimistic.
All right, should we get started?
That was terrible.
So after doing a couple of the climbs from the previous session, which Alfie pretty much nailed first time, we instantly started to push each other to do harder climbs than we're used to, which meant that this session was filled with a bunch of climbs that we couldn't even start. But that gave us the opportunity to talk to a bunch of different people who gave us tips and advice trying to help us figure out how to do certain routes. Some of them I still didn't end up finishing, but eventually we did get through a few good climbs. And I found myself making some genuine improvements in the way I was moving across the wall, almost like I was being guided by some mysterious power.
You've got to trust that first grab. Just keep your hands where you put them at the start.
Oh, I did also get my first little injury today. All right, Alfie. How was the session?
Fantastic.
Did you improve, do you reckon, today?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, rating out of 10, how'd the session go?
Solid 4.
Solid 4. Better than a slippery floor. Slippery floor? Slippery. Solid 4 is good. We can work with solid 4. All right, sweet. On to day 3. So, it happened. This morning I woke up feeling pretty much fine, but then at one point it's like lifting my arms up and my right shoulder blade just went. I'm in so much pain. Oh, it's so annoying. I just didn't think it would be this early in the challenge. So at this point, I started to wonder if this challenge was already going to be over just like 3 days into it. But I decided to look into anything I could do to potentially speed up recovery. And really, I just landed on the usual. But I did also give one of those massage guns a go for the first time. Ooh. And I started to think, maybe I might actually be alright the next day. My shoulder and neck didn't miraculously heal themselves overnight. I was meant to be climbing today, so... This is a bit of a setback, but I'm going to spend some time today looking up techniques and concepts and things that I can bring to the climbing wall to try and integrate into my skill set. So here we go. I ended up watching a load of videos from different creators and learned a bunch. Like from Hannah Morris, I learned about different fundamental moves like the rockover, where you place your foot up and to the side and you transfer your weight sideways, not just up. From bouldering Bobat, I learned about different hold types like easy to hold jugs, smooth and slippery slopers, and wall features like volumes. And from movement for climbers, I learned about creating your base of support and how to think about working with your center of gravity. And these were just a few. Okay, I got a bunch of notes. Yeah, one of the biggest things was learning about root reading. Now, root reading is one of those things that Toby said I could focus on to hit one of those main points of intention.
Efficiency and route reading are probably two things that are going to like help with all of your climbs. The route reading is going to make it way easier when you get to those harder grades.
Now, route reading is literally just before you start a climb, you use a few different techniques to try to predict what moves you'll need to do so you can have a plan and climb more efficiently. And I watched this video by Catalyst Climbing to make a bunch of notes that I want to use the next time I get to the wall, whenever that's going to be. It's 3 days since I woke up with this. It feels like I'm ready to go back to the wall, but yeah, I'm nervous. I'm gonna warm up with this heat pad. I'm gonna do a bunch of mobility stuff before I even leave, and then I'm gonna do a massive warm up at the gym itself. Like, I'm not gonna skimp on the warm up at all. All right, pretty much warmed up, and my shoulder and neck feeling okay. There's definitely something going on in there still, so I'm gonna focus on applying some of the ideas of like route reading. I'm gonna take it really easy, especially on the first like half hour, like proper easy. Pretty good session, honestly. Really tried a bunch of route reading stuff, which I got wrong most of the time. But there were a few times where I actually like figured out the general idea for the route, especially on a blue V1-2. It felt good because at least in the initial stages of the climb, it was pretty much what I predicted. Just having that idea in your head before you start, so that when you're on the wall, you're not just being surprised by what's up there. I could already feel the difference. I can definitely feel a little bit in my right shoulder. Definitely stopped at the right time, and hopefully it doesn't mean that I'm going to wake up tomorrow feeling like crap again. Week 2, climbing day 2, and my neck feels alright. Come on! Thank you. Unfortunately, the place I've been climbing in suddenly had to close down, so today I'm trying a new spot. Totally different kind of place, not just bouldering here, rope climbs and everything as well, which I might do, but not part of this video. It'll be interesting to see what the grades are like compared to the two different places. So will I be in the same grade, a higher grade, or let's face it, most likely a lower grade? Give this a go. I decided to start at the lowest grade and work my way up, just to see where I'm at in this new place. And instantly, I could feel myself going down like 2 whole grades. I was having a good time climbing these new climbs, until I came across the slopey yellow. Now, this route was filled with holds with totally smooth surfaces, which I really suck at. And no matter how many times I tried, I could not get any further than this spot. And I figured, I found myself a project. Oh, fuck me. Which place is hard? Like here, the goal of V5, maybe. The goal of V6, absolutely not. My hands, by the end, I could feel it, like I've lost all the strength and everything, so I'm gonna call it a day. But found a little project that I'm gonna come back to. I am gonna figure out how to do it. And this is where I really started using the second technique that Toby said about intention.
And doing sections in isolation, it can really help. So like getting up to halfway up the boulder and feeling how a section feels like on its own without doing it from the start every time. Go and get on that hold and get into a position that you know you need to end up to successfully hold it, right? So a lot of the time, if you're finding a move hard and you get up to the hold you're trying to catch in the position that you've been trying it, you'll quickly realize, oh wait, there's a way more comfortable position if I just shift my hips or swap my feet or put my chest across to the left or right. You can sequence those moves together, and then you can start from the bottom with way more confidence, knowing like, I'm not just punting for this hold. When I get there and I'm a bit tired because I've done the rest, I don't have to think, I've already done it on its own, and now it's really easy, you know?
Figured it out. Now I just need to piece it all together. All right, let's give it a go. Get in. First project done. I think this is a sign week 3 is going to be good. Come on! I watched the clip of me doing that climb 20 times, easy. It's honestly got me the tiniest bit emotional. It just makes me think back to how much I was loving climbing like 10 years ago. Like when I got that injury that stopped me from doing this sport for so long. I'm just, feels like real progress in a sport that I still really love. Feels good. Just feels good. And after that, oh, that was a good time. I climbed a bunch. I was climbing routes that pushed my grade range. I was trying dynamic moves. I was watching videos and tutorials every chance I got. And then I was putting into action everything I was learning, like this rockover move right here. That felt sick. I was learning about how to keep the skin on my hands good so I could climb more, and started nailing some flowy climbs. I went climbing with Alfie again, and we pushed each other some more. And then maybe a little too far.
Again. Oh!
I may have screwed up my neck. It's feeling tight. Hopefully it'll be like my neck a week ago where it just kind of healed pretty quick. I'm a little bit nervous about this one though. This feels like I might wake up tomorrow really, really stiff, so I'll see you tomorrow. I'm alright. My neck's feeling okay. I'm starting to think that maybe my body is adapting to tougher exercise, or maybe it's just proving that my body is more capable than I thought it was. All right, moving on. Week 4, that came around really quick. My hands are feeling good, my neck is feeling good, I'm feeling good. I'm gonna try and beat this heat. We're in a heat wave right now, and get my climbing in now. I did not beat the heat, but I still got my warm-up in, and with my newfound confidence that my body could handle it, I decided I wanted to tackle my first V4. So I scoped out this mint-coloured one, and I gave it a few goes, but I just couldn't figure it out. But then I met these 2 solid people who decided to have a chat, and they gave it a go themselves, and this Dom fella smashed it right in front of me. That gave me some confidence to try it again myself. So I gave it another go, which led to boshed it. I did my first V4. Oh, I'm so stoked. And then I tried a dynamic V4 and I did it first time. I found this orange V4 that looked sketchy as hell. We tried out a few different ways and eventually kind of figured out a comfortable start, which unlocked the opening. Then, after a bunch of trial and error, I got to the top. But I wanted to get a little bit cleaner, so I gave it another go, and that was a bad idea.
Oh! You're right.
I had a bit of a dinged up elbow, but I was fine. But hey, it did give me the chance to try spray plaster.
Well, it's just that little bit there.
And let me tell you, that stings.
It does sting. It's good. Oh, it continues stinging as well. Thanks for that.
But it sealed it up real nice. Gave it a few more goes, but my hands totally raw. So I decided to rest, give them some time to recover. But that was a good start to week 4. It's the closest I've felt to thinking V5 in this place. It might actually be possible. I guess we'll find out. The next session I focused only on getting some more V4s in, and it felt like all the skills of route reading and figuring stuff out in isolation and just the confidence in my body's ability that I'd been working on for the last few weeks all came together in these few climbs. So it felt really good to be climbing solidly at V4. But with only a few days left, it was time to find my V5. And this is what I settled on. This green V5 that I didn't realize was going to cause me so much pain. After a load of attempts, I figured out the first move. But then I spent 2 whole sessions attempting just this middle section, all because of this middle hold that had 0 grip. I just could not stay on the wall. And even though trying things like overlapping my hands inched me closer, by the end of the second session, my hands were ripped to shreds and I had to give up. I'm going back tomorrow. At this point, my body was shattered, and from slipping on that middle hold, I had blisters on my fingertips that hurt like hell. But it was day 30, and I felt like I was so close. And now I was ready to throw in the towel. But then I thought about where I started and everything I'd done to get here, and thought, that'd be a waste. And then I had a little idea. With my energy drained, I got through the start of one last attempt, but this time I shifted my left foot all the way to the edge, because I thought it might shift my weight just enough for my hands and feet to lock in. That was it. Wait, that was actually it?
Come on!
Oh. V5, baby. Done. So, what's next?